The same person wins two different positions in a Goodman, Missouri election. I'm Samantha Walker, and coming up, I'll have the details on what's next.
Plus, experts warn about a rise in identity theft due to a rise in AI tools. And the Trump administration announces a pause in the trade war for most countries, but not all.
The four states' most watched news starts now.
It's a race that may have some Goodman, Missouri voters confused. This is KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. I'm Dow Quick. J.R. Fisher and Clay Sexton ran against each other for two different positions, mayor and South Ward alderman. Sexton won both races. KOAM Samantha Walker explains what this means for the city.
This April, officials with the city of Goodman submitted their desired ballot content to the county, as confirmed by the McDonald County Clerk's Office. But it's a situation that has the Elections Division with the Missouri Secretary of State's office checking their statutes. The two same people ran for the two same positions, with one person winning both, Clay Sexton.
I'm a lifelong resident, have volunteered for years prior to being on the board when I was first elected in 2020. Once the other candidate had signed up for both and no one else signed up for either or, I went ahead and signed up for both after making sure that it was legal.
The Missouri Secretary of State's office says it would be reasonably obvious that one person should not be mayor and alderman at the same time. If the same candidate wins both positions, typically the position that candidate didn't win would be left open as a vacancy. According to Sexton, Goodman also has a city code that would disallow someone from holding both positions. Prior to election night, Sexton said if he won both races, he would take the position of mayor and nominate someone for the vacant alderman seat.
I do have the choice of which seat that I want, but I want this seat after consulting with my wife and my family and what we think will be best for the town moving forward.
He says it's then up to the board to either accept or deny who he nominates. The seat will stay open until he nominates someone the board accepts.
I want someone that's going to think of the betterment of the town, that's going to be open-minded.
The McDonald County Clerk's Office will provide the results to the city of Goodman in a letter after their verification board certifies them on Monday. After that, it's up to the city of Goodman to determine how to proceed because the McDonald County Clerk's Office has no authority in the matter. Reporting in Goodman, I'm Samantha Walker, KOAM News.
Now, according to the Secretary of State's office, there are no statutes regulating what happens when the same person wins multiple conflicting offices. A spokesperson for the office tells us what's happening in Goodman is the generally accepted procedure. Missouri's governor signs a law that supporters say will strengthen the state's energy infrastructure and opponents say could increase your bills. The bill signed by Governor Mike Kehoe today covers a wide range of electric utilities issues. One aspect of the law will allow utility companies to charge customers for the construction of new electric generating plants, potentially raising electric rates across the state. The Consumers Council of Missouri had estimated that electric customers could face an additional $1,100 in annual charges under the legislation. However, the governor says the law is a major step forward in strengthening Missouri's energy infrastructure and supporting long-term economic development. It's been a nice day out there. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Doug Heddy.
Yeah, it turned out to be a beautiful Wednesday for us today. 77 for a high, good chunk above our average high, 68. Starting at 52, record of 88, set back in 2011. Still, temperature is pretty good. 68 in Joplin, 65 in Pittsburgh, Nevada 64, 65, Anderson, Grand Lake, Pittsburgh 64 in Parsons. Through the overnight hours, we do have a few little clouds kind of skirting through. There could be a couple little sprinkles that kind of pass by into southwestern Missouri, but at least the winds have calmed down because they were moving earlier today. Let's go into your winds, actually your Thursday. So again, random shower kind of passing by later on this evening, but as we kick off Thursday, we'll start near 50 and back into the 70s for highs. Up and down temperatures, we're going to look at that here in just a bit.
Catch them. Pittsburgh State University and Franklin Technology Center have announced a new partnership to support future technology professionals. Starting in 2026, 10 Franklin Tech students each year will receive full tuition and fees to attend PSU's Crossland College of Technology. The scholarships are renewable for 2 or 4 years, depending on the student's program. The partnership also includes ongoing support, events, and promotional resources to encourage student success.
Began to be talked about last August, and just a tremendous opportunity for some young people that maybe college and a technology degree would have never been possible. So the opportunities are amazing, and we're excited about this.
School leaders say this collaboration is designed to build a stronger, more affordable pathway into tech careers. The White House said today it's hitting the pause button on its reciprocal tariffs for the most part. While the Trump administration has authorized a 90-day pause for countries that have not retaliated against the U.S., it moves to raise tariffs on China to 125%. Both China and the European Union have retaliated with their own tariffs. Markets soared in the news of the pause today as the S&P 500 had its third best day since 1940. However, KOAM's Lonnie Walton found that some four-state residents are preparing for whatever happens next.
I'm very concerned about the debt that we're leaving to the next generations. We have to do something radical. If we don't do something radical now, then what are we leaving for our kids?
Tammy Brown is a business owner in Webb City. She says she understands tariffs aren't fun, but she says no pain, no gain.
So we're doing the things that we need to do to adjust right now. But again, we have to look at the long-range benefits.
And while many think these benefits in the long term will help, Treasurer of Jasper County Democratic Party, Austin Reed, says the approach is all wrong.
I think that while he says that this is like short-term pain for long-term relief, the short-term pain is going to be longer than what he says it is if his goal is to reshore manufacturing and if he actually does.
Austin says if the tariff situation doesn't settle down, things could get worse.
I think there's a possibility that he's trying to deliberately put the country into a recession. I'm much more inclined to believe that his intentions on things that he does are negative, and if he puts the country into a recession, that allows people like Elon Musk and people like Mark Zuckerberg to kind of go on fire sale on cheap stocks.
Meanwhile, Brown, who is also a business owner, is preparing for changes.
Prices going up, well, they've already gone up. We've had to make adjustments for the last 4.5 years, and it's constant adjustments in my home, it's constant adjustments in my business because all the supplies have gone up.
Reporting in Jasper County, I'm Lonnie Walton, KOAM News.
Now, we mentioned that the president extended the period before most of the tariffs go into effect. However, again, tariffs on China are still slated to happen as scheduled. Coming up, fighters captured in the war in Ukraine, but not who you might think.
The Ukraine conflict escalates with the capture of 2 Chinese nationals fighting for Russia. Beijing denies any involvement. I'm Greg Falca in London. That's my story coming up.
But up first, measles cases across the country continue to rise, including right here in the 4 states. Measles cases hit a new milestone in Texas as health experts raise concerns about the infection spreading to young children. Fox's Gary Baumgarten has the latest numbers.
Texas public health officials say measles cases surpassed 500 on Tuesday, bringing the nation's total to more than 600. 3 unvaccinated people, including 2 children, have died from measles this year, which is worrying some health experts.
We shouldn't be having 3 deaths with 600 cases. That would probably equal out to 3,000 cases.
Amish Adalia at the Johns Hopkins Center for Health Security says the outbreak could even be worse than what is reported.
We're not getting the full picture here because there's lack of diagnostic testing, people not coming forward to be tested.
And as the number continues to tick higher, more vulnerable people in the community are starting to get infected.
Unfortunately, last week we actually had measles enter a daycare, and we've been working really hard with that daycare owner to make sure that we're excluding children that are unvaccinated.
Health officials say 7 cases were reported at a daycare in Lubbock where many kids are too young to receive the full vaccine.
We do have more kids that are undergoing testing, so I think that outbreak will grow.
Vaccination availability is also increasing in the area to stop the outbreak among young children.
Our big push over the next couple of weeks is really going to be vaccinations. in Lubbock, really focusing on getting all of those young ones in, hopefully being able to open some vaccine clinics 7 days a week for a couple of weeks.
The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention met with Texas officials earlier this week to discuss sending more people to the state for additional aid in the outbreak response. Gary Baumgarten, Fox News.
A report from the KDHE today shows a total of 32 measles cases in Kansas. Those were all in the southwestern portion of the state. As of yesterday, Oklahoma had 10 reported cases. 8 of those were confirmed cases. 2 were considered probable. Despite more funding for mental health care at work, employees are becoming even more stressed. A study by the European Psychiatric Association found workers say deadlines and demands placed on them are worse than ever, and many fear their jobs will make them sick. Young people in particular seem to be more vulnerable to work-related stress. Many studies show that working the night shift is bad for the heart, but when you eat could lower the risks. A study by Brigham and Women's Hospital showed that night shift workers who only ate during the daytime showed better cardiovascular health than those who ate during both day and night. Researchers say daytime eating exclusively helps readjust your internal body clock. Mindfulness, yoga, and Tai Chi can lower your blood pressure, at least in the short term. A study published in the British Medical Journal found relaxation techniques are effective at lowering high blood pressure for the first 3 months, but the long-term effects, they're still unclear. Doug is next with a complete look at the forecast, and later, consumers might not need to hunt far to find cheaper egg prices ahead of Easter.
Well, definitely turned out to be a nice Wednesday for us today. We had sunshine. It was windy, but our temperatures into the mid to upper 70s to near 80, depending on where you live. Great shot, Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex, Tarracam. Of course, we are looking at downtown Joplin. Looks pretty good out there for us right now. Temperature's still great. Chanute 61, 66 in Welch. We have Cassville at 69, Lamar at about 66 degrees. Let's go outside. Here's 7th and Rangeline 68. Winds have died down. It was pretty windy earlier today, but these have really calmed down over the past few hours, but they're going to pick up a little bit again as we go into Thursday afternoon. Not quite as windy, gusts kind of 25 upwards to 30, but still kind of moving, and then they start to back down as we get into Friday with a northerly wind at about 10 to 15. We do have some clouds kind of skirting through. See a couple little showers just south of St. Louis. We aren't getting the rain, but we're getting those clouds. We may get a random sprinkle in here later on tonight, but really any showers or thunderstorms staying well to our east. Here's another little wave, kind of slides by tonight, and then will produce some severe weather as we get into tomorrow evening to our east across southeastern parts of Missouri. All right, random sprinkle tonight. Overall, pretty calm. We start the day with some clouds, temperatures kind of 48 to about 50 degrees. As we go into the noon hour, temperatures looking pretty good. Plenty of sunshine, upper 60s to near 70. Once we get into the afternoon, I think most of us 71, 72, 73 degrees for afternoon high. So overall, it's going to be a pretty good Thursday. A little bit cooler air starts to filter in tomorrow night. Temperatures a little bit cooler. We back down near 40 for an overnight low. Then on Friday, mostly sunny skies, a little bit cooler, but still good. Most of us 63, 64, 65 degrees by Friday afternoon. Friday night, back down near 40 once again, so a little bit on the chilly side, but then we get into a warming trend as we go toward the weekend. 51 in the morning, 70 by noon. Let's go with a high temp on your Thursday of 73 degrees. So this system will rotate through. As we get into the weekend, there's a storm system across the northern parts of the plains. It's going to give us some clouds. We're going to warm up ahead of it, but besides that, it doesn't look like it's going to be a very big deal. We cool down just a bit behind it. We start to get some rain chances in here late Wednesday into Thursday with our next storm system, and this will give us chances for showers and thunderstorms across the region. So we'll keep our eyes on that as we get into next week. 73 tomorrow, 64 on your Friday, 70 Saturday, but up to 81 by Sunday. So overall temperatures look pretty good, and we're going to get a really nice weekend.
I think those temperatures look better than pretty good.
Yeah,
they
not
look
bad.
Great to me. Thanks, Doug. Coming up, searching for survivors.
The search for survivors continues after the roof collapsed at a Dominican nightclub. In London, I'm Alex Hogan. I'll have more on this story coming up.
You might not have to worry about egg alternatives for your Easter basket. As Fox News' Gary Baumgarten explains, consumers are getting some relief on prices just in time for the holiday.
Consumers could be in for an Easter treat. The Department of Agriculture says the average wholesale price for a dozen white large eggs was $3.26 as of April the 4th, down more than $3 from the beginning of last month.
The reason wholesale egg prices have really declined in the last several weeks really is a demand response to high prices.
Economists like David Anderson at Texas A&M University say many consumers have decreased their egg use, which has helped lower wholesale prices.
High prices cause us to buy fewer of whatever good that is, and eggs are one of those. So we're already sort of doing that and doing our part to bring down prices.
Along with buying fewer eggs, there are other ways shoppers can make sure they are getting the best price.
Those of us who have followed the egg market have noticed are wide differences in prices between stores in the same city. So if you're going to be out and about, you might search ahead of time and see who's got the best price.
Anderson says it is common for egg prices to drop between March and May, but even with the recent decline, egg costs still have room to fall.
Last year at this time, egg prices were about $2.25 per dozen, which is why egg prices are so shocking today, is because they're so much higher than they were a year ago.
Although prices are still higher than the previous year, Anderson says more relief could be on the way through more careful spending.
We might put some thought into just how many eggs we really need, and so we might control some of our buying a little bit, reduce that overall dollar amount that we spend.
Gary Baumgarten, Fox News.
Frito-Lay issued a recall of some bags of Tostitos tortilla chips, saying the snack foods might have been contaminated with undeclared products. The company says the 13-ounce bags could include nacho cheese tortilla chips and might contain undeclared milk allergens. A new BBB study shows identity theft is evolving with the rise of AI tools and dark web activity. Since 2021, more than 16,000 reports have been filed through the BBB scam tracker, with monetary losses on the rise. The regional head of the Bureau tells us scammers are using stolen personal information to create fake identities and carry out more fraud.
Identity theft, personal information theft is a growing problem, and the amount of money that consumers are losing, it continues to grow every year. So it's so important for everyone to just be as protective as possible of their personal information. Even something innocuous, something you wouldn't think of. We talk a lot about social security numbers, date of birth, but even the names of family members can be used to try to socially engineer their way into, say, your social media accounts.
The BBB warns consumers to monitor accounts, use strong passwords, and protect sensitive data. Uber has unveiled the nation's most forgetful city. The company says New Yorkers left more items behind in Uber vehicles than residents of any other city. The most commonly forgotten items were keys, wallets, and phones, with a whopping 1.7 million iPhones and Androids left in the back of Uber vehicles in 2024. It's signing day for one Pittsburgh high school student, but not for athletics. His story is coming up. Boy, it's a significant achievement to be accepted into the prestigious Massachusetts Institute of Technology, a dream for many, and now a reality for one Pittsburgh high school student. Dominic Bach has been awarded a full academic scholarship to MIT. Today, family, teachers, and friends gathered to celebrate his ceremonial signing to congratulate him. While those who know Dominic are well aware of his capabilities, they tell us they remain consistently amazed by his relentless ambition and dedication to shaping his future.
I founded Guide LLC about a year ago, and in collaboration with me and my team in Stanford, we've been able to make a lot of great progress, but just haven't had opportunity and access to education companies to partner with. So now that I'm moving to the Boston area, there's a lot of really strong education companies.
By the way, Dominic is the son of KOAM's own Tanya Bach. You see her there. That means a lot of us here at the station have known Dominic his entire life. We know Tanya is proud. We all are as well. He has a bright future ahead of him for sure. 30 more minutes of news, weather, and sports coming your way. Coming up, the death toll from the roof collapse at a Dominican Republic nightclub reaches triple digits as rescue crews still search for survivors. And Chinese citizens apparently captured fighting for Russia and Ukraine as President Trump pushes for a ceasefire.
You're watching the 4 States Most Watched News.
This is KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. The death toll is climbing after the roof of a nightclub collapsed in the Dominican Republic. As Fox News correspondent Alex Hogan tells us, dozens of people are dead, including 2 former Major League Baseball players.
One day after a deadly roof collapse at a Dominican Republic nightclub, rescue crews are still sifting through the rubble searching for survivors. Roughly 100 people are dead and dozens more injured. That number is expected to climb.
We have an established perimeter by the National Police as well as the rescue team of the collapsed structure, firefighters, and armed forces.
Dominican police say the roof at the iconic Jet Set Club in the capital, Santo Domingo, suddenly collapsed early Tuesday. Hundreds of people were inside the venue at the time for a merengue concert, including politicians and athletes. Former Major League Baseball players Octavio Dotel and Tony Blanco were among those killed.
The main objective is still to save lives. We've been following this tragedy minute by minute so that all the resources can be available as they have been.
Emergency workers demolished one of the club's walls to better reach people believed to be trapped inside. Authorities say the focus remains on finding more survivors and identifying those who died. Families are now anxiously waiting outside a makeshift morgue for word about their loved ones.
We don't really have any information. We know she was there with a coworker, and none of the group has shown up yet. We have faith that she will appear.
Authorities say it is still too early to tell what caused the roof to fall, but an investigation will take place. In London, Alex Hogan, Fox News.
The IRS is set to lose its 3rd leader since President Trump's inauguration, with Acting Commissioner Melanie Krause departing next week. The move comes after a deal with Homeland Security allowing access to taxpayer information to locate illegal immigrants. Democrats call this move illegal, claiming the IRS had no authority to use data for immigration enforcement. The Trump administration remains committed to deportation plans, saying immigrants who don't want to be removed should self-deport. While the U.S. is striving for a ceasefire deal, the capture of 2 Chinese soldiers fighting for Russia in Ukraine raises new concerns about Beijing's role in that conflict. Fox News senior foreign affairs correspondent Greg Palcott has the latest on the obstacles facing negotiators.
We're talking to Russia. We'd like them to stop. I don't like the bombing.
As President Trump continues his push for a ceasefire in Ukraine, the fighting on the ground is intensifying. And now there's a potential new threat from China. Ukrainian officials say they've captured 2 Chinese citizens fighting alongside the Russian army, and they have reports of many more on the front lines.
There are documents and passports. There are even credit cards. These are Chinese citizens. I think the United States of America should pay attention to what is happening.
But Beijing denies it's sending troops to Ukraine, saying the 2 men went on their own, and the Chinese military has no plans to get involved in the fighting.
The Chinese government always asks Chinese citizens to stay away from conflict zones to avoid getting involved in any form of armed conflict.
Since the start of the war, China has supported Russia economically and diplomatically. They provided a lifeline for the Russian economy and make about 80% of dual-use military items used by Moscow, including parts for drones and radars. But it's held off sending weapons and troops to Ukraine. If that policy has been reversed, it could help Russia push forward past Ukraine's defensive lines.
It's disturbing with the Chinese soldiers having been captured fighting on behalf of Russia in Ukraine. China is a major enabler of Russia in the war in Ukraine.
The U.S. and Russia are scheduled to meet for another round of direct talks about the Ukrainian war in Istanbul on Thursday. In London, Greg Palcott, Fox News.
Doug is next with a complete look at the forecast. Plus, before you dig into gardening this spring, experts say holding off could save your plants and your soil.
Well, of course, it turned out to be a pretty good Wednesday for us today. Quite a bit of sunshine, windy outside, but the winds have really come down quite a bit over the past 2 or 3 hours, which is good news. Great shot, Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex Tower Cam. We are looking downtown Joplin. Most of us mid to upper 60s. We're only going to drop back near 50 later on tonight. So it's been a great evening. It's going to be a great night. And then Thursday also is looking pretty good. 68 west. Northwesterly winds are light. Visibility is good. Pressure is good. Humidity, not bad. So it looks pretty good across the region. Thankfully, the winds have really come down. Now they're going to pick up a bit once again tomorrow. Northwesterly winds, gusts kind of 25 upwards to 30. Maybe not quite as strong as what we saw today. And even still on Friday, kind of a breezy northerly wind, but not super windy as we go through the next couple days. Weak little system kind of shifting on by, so you can see some showers, even a random thunderstorm, mainly eastern Missouri, heading over into Illinois. It's not going to affect us much. We may get a random sprinkle or a random shower, try to push through later on tonight. All right, let me walk you through time. So we have a weak front dropping through, could get a random sprinkle for us tonight. Let's go into Thursday morning. Temperature is about 48 to about 50, so not bad. We get our northerly wind kind of picking up. We're stopping at the noon hour. Most of us 68 to about 72 at noon. I think high temps 71, 72, 73 degrees, maybe 74, 75 once you get into our western counties. A little bit chilly for us tomorrow night, backing down near 40 again, but we'll stay above that frost level. Friday, looking pretty good. Not quite as warm, but still nice. High temps, mainly into the mid to upper 60s on Friday afternoon. Another chilly night, Friday night. We'll back down once again near 40, maybe a couple upper 30s, but we should stay right above that frost level. All right, 51 in the morning, 70 by noon. High temp on your Thursday of 73 degrees. What about your weekend? Let's take a look. Let's go into Saturday. We'll stop in the afternoon. Nice, high temperatures, right around 70 degrees. Heading into Sunday, we warm up a little bit more, get some clouds. Also, the winds will start to pick up, but I think we'll be upper 70s to lower 80s for highs as we go into Sunday afternoon, which is going to be good. We do get a front that kind of shifts through on Monday, so that will cool us down just a little bit. So we do have these weaker systems kind of rotating through mainly up toward the Great Lakes. So we don't have any big storm systems, which are going to affect us over the next 5 or 6 days. 73 on your Thursday, 64 Friday, 70 Saturday, 81 on Sunday. Just kind of up and down temps, but mainly pretty calm over the next several days.
Pretty calm, beautiful temps.
Yeah, looks great.
Good chance to get outside. Thanks, Doug. Coming up in sports, Pitt State and Missouri Southern renew their rivalry on the baseball diamond. John Dales has highlights from the Lions' battle with the Gorillas and more. That's up next.
Pittsburgh State and Missouri Southern baseball have played each other one time so far this year. That was an 8-4 Gorilla victory in Joplin a couple weeks ago. Now this evening, PSU hopes to clinch the best-of-3 season series. Gorillas at home taking on the Lions, riding an 8-game winning streak. We start in the first. Dagan Brewer hits this one into left field. Hayden Dyer, hustling around third, slides in safely at home, and it's 1-0 Pitt State. Same score in the third until Drew Bugner launches this one to deep right field. It is out of here, and that PSU lead, it grows to 3-0. But the Lions claw their way back in the fourth. Chayton Beck drives one to straightaway center, and that one is gone. Southern now in front. The Lions lead 4-3. Now in the bottom of the fourth, Pitt State with men on the corners and 2 out. Alex Rogers steals second. The throw gets away. Connor Allen comes home to score because of it, and after another errant throw from Southern, Rogers comes all the way around to score. He started the play on first base. Now in the seventh, Pitt State up 7-5, man on, and Brewer laces a double to left center. Bugner scores easily for the insurance run. Gorillas up 3, and then Cooper Crouch slams the door in the 9th inning. Pittsburgh State beats Missouri Southern 8-5 for its 9th win in a row. The Gorillas clinched the season series over the Lions for the first time since 2022. In Major League Baseball, the Cardinals finish up their road trip this afternoon in Pittsburgh. They're hoping to get a series victory over the Pirates. Cardinals and Pirates, scoreless tie in the bottom of the 6th. Eric Fetty with the no-hitter intact, and first he gets a swinging strikeout, then the throw down to second. Umpire initially says safe. The play gets challenged, and after review, Sung-Chae Chang's called out. Next batter, Fetty, strikes out Brian Reynolds swinging. He gets pulled after throwing 6 innings of no-hit ball. In the 7th, Phil Maton comes out of the bullpen, and the first batter he faces, Endy Rodriguez, gets the first hit of the day for the Pirates. We stay scoreless into the 8th inning. That's when Wilson Contreras pops up this pitch. Endy Rodriguez and Joey Bart, they're going to collide here. That's a fair ball and a live ball, and Thomas Sajaci, he gets tagged out at home by Cabrian Hayes. Crazy play, and a big collision there between Rodriguez and Bart, who would both stay in the game. Hayes with a heads-up play to make the tag there, and we still have no score. Now we go to the bottom of the 11th. This is Joey Bart, who was involved in that collision. Lines one to right. Lars Nootbaar comes up firing. His throw to the plate is in time to get the out. So we go to the 12th. That's where the Cardinals score the first run in the game, but now to the bottom of the 13th. Tied at 1, bases loaded for the Pirates, and it's Bart again. Sends it all the way to the warning track. There's only 1 out, so it doesn't matter if this was caught or not. He walks it off. Cardinals lose a 13-inning marathon to the Pirates. Final score 2-1. Meanwhile, the Royals, they also lose to the Twins. Final score 4-0. This one not quite as exciting as the Cardinals game we just saw. Kansas City gets held to just 3 hits on the entire game. The Royals hope to shake this one off and finish the series with a win. Final game is tomorrow afternoon at 1:10. Back to that college baseball I was talking about. For these Pitt State seniors, they hadn't beat Southern in a series since their freshman year, and then they get to come back and do it as seniors. Pretty big moment for them.
Yeah, they are red hot at the moment. We'll see if they can
9
keep
wins
it up.
in a row.
Too bad for the Lions, but somebody has to lose these games.
True.
We'll be right back. With the snow and ice of winter now long gone, dead and vacant gardening plots remain across backyards nationwide. But while April showers bring May flowers, horticulture experts are warning folks not to start planting too early. Fox News' Sue Guzman is digging up all the tips and tricks for the perfect spring garden.
As warmer spring weather continues settling across the country, the sunshine, buds, and bird calls may be tempting gardening fanatics to start getting to work. But green thumbs beware, your eagerness could be setting you up for failure down the line.
It's too early, though, to do a lot of cultivation. You know, we could be disturbing or harming our soil health by breaking ground right now.
Horticulture experts like Karen Mitchell of Purdue University say it's best to wait until the last frost to plant most vegetables and flowers.
Early May sometimes, but then again, we will get a late frost in May occasionally. So keeping an eye on the forecast and looking for that last frost.
Instead of breaking ground now, gardeners are advised to use this time to plan and identify any problem areas.
planning the layout, planning your shopping list. Are there wet spots? Are there shady spots?
Folks in more temperate climates should be mindful of sunlight access once any surrounding trees have fully blossomed.
A lot of shade will arrive with the leaves, so right now you might have some sunny spots that won't be sunny in the summer.
Meanwhile, if you're hitting up local hardware stores or greenhouses, experts say you may not want to forget these helpful tools.
First off is gloves, right? So I will often forget them until they're too late, but they are a important part of year-round gardening. And then my second favorite would probably be just a normal hand trowel. I do like ones that have more of an ergonomic grip so that you don't have as much fatigue.
Sue Guzman, Fox News.
Coming up, which celebrity is returning to stand-up? Who's cooking up laughs in Nana's? And a fan favorite show, MasterChef, is making a summer comeback. Another course ordered for a hit Gordon Ramsay competition series and a first look at Vince Vaughn's latest movie. Fox's Ashley Dvorkin has all of this and more in today's Hollywood Nation.
Spade returns to the stage, Vaughn cooks up a new comedy, and a foodie favorite is back in today's Hollywood Nation. Fox renewed MasterChef for a 15th season. The theme is MasterChef Dynamic Duos, with home cooks participating in pairs, family members, best friends, and otherwise. The dynamic trio heading things up: Gordon Ramsay, Joe Bastianich, and new judge Tiffany Derry. The show is set to return this summer. In today's First Looks, Netflix released first look images of Nana's. Inspired by a real-life story, the film follows a man who risks everything to honor his late mother by opening an Italian restaurant with a group of local grandmothers as the chefs. The cast includes Vince Vaughn, Lorraine Bracco, and Susan Sarandon. It premieres May 9th.
I'll make it funny.
Plus, a trailer was released for David Spade's new Prime Video comedy special, David Spade Dandelion. It's his fourth comedy special and his first for the streamer. The Saturday Night Live alum directed the special too and serves as a producer. It premieres May 6th. In Hollywood, Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
And that's our time for tonight. Thanks for joining us. We're going to leave you with video of shelter dogs enjoying a slumber party with some animal lovers. Let's make it a great tomorrow.